What's going on, good people? This is David Deluxe Burgess of the Breed. I am here to show you how to make a beat. But first, a little accolade about myself. I went to Full Sail University. I got my bachelor's in recording arts and my master's in entertainment business. I've been producing for about 11 years now, and I just got my first big placement on Chris Brown's last album, number 31, Special Delivery. So make sure you guys go check that out. Here today, I'm just going to show you guys how to build a simple beat. And let's get right to it. All right, so what I'm about to show you now is just a quick process of not only my process, but some other producers' process. Typically what they're doing now in these age as programmers and how they build a beat. So we're going to go inside of here. I'm going to click create, of course, like I just did. And we're not going to use this side library here. What we're going to do, we're going to go to something which is what we call splice. Okay, we're going to go over here to splice. And we're going to click downloads. And we're going to find just a simple loop for us to create something good. So let's see what we have in here. Let's find something. Okay, so we could use that, right? So we're just going to click in there because we downloaded. We're just going to drag it in. All right. Says if you want to have the import tempo, you can if you want to, but for this we're just going to say we don't want to. So we notice that right here the tempo is at 80, so you always want to match your tempos together. So if this is 80, you want to make sure your tempo up here is at 80. Okay, so just type 80 in there, and here this icon right here, let's turn this help button on so this will help you guys out as well. Right here you have, this is called flex audio. So anytime you're using flex audio, this helps you change the tempo of the audio or anything else that you need, and it doesn't mess the audio up. So just for example, let's say if it's at 80 and I have the metronome on, if I move it to 91, tempo's off, everything's off, right? But making sure I have it at the right tempo, right? And I click on flex audio here, right? And I go here and I go to poly, all right? All right, so sometimes this is a good thing that this happened right here. Sometimes when you add in audio and you click flex audio, the audio starts acting different, starts messing up. So what you want to do is you want to rebounce the audio. So you want to right click the audio and you want to click bounce in place. Okay, you don't have to change the name if you don't want to. It's just going to keep the same name. Everything here is all good, so you just click OK. You will get rid of the last audio that you just did. You will go here and you will click polyphonic, and now your audio should be good. So this goes back to what we were saying about the tempo, how it changes. So you see we have it on point here, right? Everything is at 80. It's perfect, beautiful, right? So now let's say we want to make it faster. Because we have flex audio up there, it's not going to change the audio and it's going to stay on tempo. See that? So now let's find a good perfect tempo. Let's just try, let's go 85 and see what that feels like. Let's speed it up a little more there. Anytime you're making beats, you always want to speed up the loop just a little bit more, just to get the feel, because you want to have a bounce when you're creating beats. Okay, so that feels good. That's a good feel right there. So if you want to be a little different, I'm going to turn this help bar off here. If you want to keep the help bar on or learn these different parameters, you can just check out the last video that we just did on beginners of how to use Logic. So what I like to do here is I like to go in here and I want to change up the audio. So in here, inside we have it's called pitch. And for this purposes, because not everyone has the pitch changer, we're going to use Logic. So we're going to here, we're going to push pitch shifter. We're going to hit stereo here. You want to make sure the mix between Logic and the sample is all the way up. And then you want to drop it down some, so you can change the pitch of the actual sample. So let's listen and see what it sounds like. So, you know, that's cool. That's okay. Let's bring it up. Okay, so that's pretty cool, right? So we're going to leave that there, right? Got the pitch going there. So next thing you want to do is you want to start adding some drums in there, all right? So again, we're going to go over here. And because we have a track already up here, so we're just going to go here now. Right here when creating tracks. Now before we was going here, using this bank here. But what I like to do is I don't like to use that. I want to use like different stuff and bring it over from Splice. So we're gonna go to Instrument. We're gonna click this, and you see we have Ultra Beat here. This is where your recents is gonna be at. Any plugin that you use recently, so it's gonna be in here. But if it's not in here for Ultra Beat, just drag down here, go to Ultra Beat, and you will see stereo, and you will just click on that. So if your Ultra Beat doesn't come up with all samples ready to add up and ready to add and ready to go, you can just click on this default right here, go to drum kits, and you can just click on drag and drop samples, and that'll be the same thing there. So we're gonna go back to Splice here, and we're just gonna find something real simple. Okay, we're gonna click on drums, and we're looking for, let's see, we're gonna look for snares, or we're looking for claps. We're probably gonna go with snares, okay? And if I don't find one up here, I'll show you what we already have. Alright, so let's just look this down. Got a couple things here. You know what? This is what we're gonna do. So, drag and drop samples is when you sit there and you find a snare that you want, right? And you take the sample and then you literally just drag it inside of the square. So you will take this, drag it in there, and it will be right there. That's where you will have that. So because I already have snare set, right, I can just go right in here and I will have my snares there. I will click that, right? So now I have those set. So I got my snares ready to go. So now I'm like, okay, let's get my hi-hats. I like to get my instruments prepared and ready to go. Sometimes I do it as I'm working, but just for video purposes, I'm going to show you how to actually build it so you can have everything lined up, and you'll be good and satisfied with how you your workspace. So click on Software Instrument, Create. We're going to go to Instrument again. Again, this is where your recents are. You can click on Ultra Beat. I'm going to click that there. We're going to go to Splice. And now we're looking for a hi-hat. So it's already clicked on drums. We're just going to type in hats here, and it should pop up here. Oh, here we go. We got open and close hats. All right. So we're just going to, good, nice little hat right there. So we're going to put that in there. Make sure that. Okay. So before, as a producer or programmer, you used to have to enter your hi-hats, you know, doubling up, right? So Logic X has a service that we like to use, which is here. You go here to MIDI effects, and you go to Arpeggiator, and you just click on Arpeggiator. Now, depending on how fast the song, how you want your hi-hats, all you have to do now is just press on the button, just hold it, and you don't have to double up no more. So let's work for you. All right, so let's just say we're going to do that. Now, what you want to do is, now, I remember showed you how to get to the EQing. You want to take this EQ here, and you got some hi-hats. See how it's kind of like harsh like that? We want to kind of take that down. So we want to take the highs down a little bit. Okay, then we're going to take the lows, and we're going to build that up to take the lows out, just to give us that nice hi-hat touch there. Click out of there, click out of there, and then we're going to hit R for recording. Wait for it to come up. So let's do that again. Here we go. Perfect. So what you want to do is, after you get that done, you want to go right here to Region 2 Instrument, which is what this is here, and you want to quantize. Quantize lines everything up. So quantization, it lines it all up for you, keeps it right on beat. So you want to go here, hit 1/16. And typically when you have a sample this long, I like to just do like a good 4-bar loop if it repeats. And I could just bring that cycle back here. And then here. So you want to always bring down your volume a little bit so it's not piercing. Okay, so now you got that hi-hat. Now you want to give it a little texture, right? So you just would duplicate that track here. So what you would do is click on this track here. And right here, you see this button, I got a plus in a box. That means it's going to duplicate that track. So we want to duplicate it. Once we do there, we go to the arpeggiation, and let's say we need a little texture hi-hat. So let's do something like that, right? Let's click change the arpeggiation to 32 to 32. Got that going there. And then now what you might want to do is, which is something that I do, is click inside of Ultra Beat. And inside you here, they have the key pitch here. Okay. So already we're using a regular key pitch for that hi-hat. So if you want to just add texture, you probably want to drop it down, maybe about 2, whatever you feel, just to give it a little texture. And then we're just going to add something on this right here, just to give it a little texture. Alright, so now we got that going. Quantize again. So perfect, alright? So now we go back to our snare. We want to find out what kind of snare we want to use. So let's use this snare here. So we're going to press R here. I'm just going to add in the snare. Going there again, make sure you quantize. You want to keep it locked in. So for snares, what we're going to do is we're going to go to EQ, and similar to what we did for the hi-hat, but this time we're not going to bother the highs here. We're just going to take the lows and we're going to raise it up. So we want to make it tight. You want to find that nice tight spot, which is there. And we're going to have it going. So now, since we got that going, we got a nice loop here, okay? It's just perfect. Normally, when you're creating a beat, you only need maybe about 2 sounds, and then the rest is mainly drums for today's type of production that they have going on. So now we got our hi-hats, we got a snare, and we have the melody. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create an 808. So we're gonna go to software instrument here. We're gonna hit create. So the process of creating your own 808s would be fairly simple, okay? So what you would do is you would go to instrument, and right here, because it was recently, you will have a sampler here, and you will want to put the 808 in mono, all right? So you click that there, and you will hit edit, okay? All right, so now you hit edit here, and you will go to Splice once again. Splice is our best friend nowadays, okay? And you want to type in, this drums already selected, so now you want to type in 808, and you just want to find you a good 808. Nice hard 808. Right, okay, so that's cool. That's pretty cool. So that's going to be C, and we add that in there, right? So once we do this, we can hit exit here and make sure you want to save it. So you would just save it as, let's just say New Haven 808. Let's just hit save. So once you do that, all these come across, all the keys become your 808. So now your next thing you want to do is you want to find the key, okay? So I understand a lot of people don't play keys nowadays, and you got to figure out how you're going to find the key and how it's going to sound. So the first thing what I always do is make sure you try to learn your scale, which can be covered, or you can find it on YouTube or different instructors. They will teach you about different scales of trying to find your notes. Otherwise, you will go by ear and how you want to do it. So if I don't know the key, then I listen to it for a minute. I find the 808 that I need, and I will just get right to it right there. So normally when you find your key, so right now it's the key of D. Alright, so normally when I find the key, just make a simple 808 just to rock with the beat, come up with a couple ideas, and you'll be good. So let's see what we can come up with. Normally you just might want to go with your first idea. That's normally the right one that you want to do. So let's make something simple. So now we got the 808 in there, and let's quantize that. And let's hear. So I'm gonna give you a little secret. All right, here's a secret. Anytime you're using 808s or drums, you want to make sure that they hit hard. Okay, so you're gonna pull up this piano roll here, click inside the grid. Okay, you want to hit Command A, which is select all. Once you do that, all right, this right here, let me turn this on here so you guys can see what the name is. This right here is your automation. You want to click on this automation. Automation is going to help you out with velocity. So you're going to take this here. You see how I have this little green, everything else is red. Make sure all your drums is red because that's how hard they're actually going to hit. Alright, so you want to slide the parameters up here and make sure that's there. We're going to turn this back off and we're just going to take a listen. Okay, so we have a little something here. Alright, so we want these to be a little longer because you want that 808 to ring out a little more. Okay, so let's do that. So now we have that. Only thing we need now, we need one more instrument, which could be your kick. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. Software instruments. Alright. And we already have a kick here, so I'm just going to use the kicks here. Alright, find a good kick. So let's try this out. Alright, just going to add this on top here. We have those added, and let's hear how this sounds. Let's just turn it up a tad. So you want to turn the hi-hats down some. Really want everything to hit good. So in there we have a nice little loop. So now you got the 4-bar loop there, and what you want to do here is you can select that all. You want to hit Option. Alright, hold down Option, click on the actual instruments and slide it to the side here. Once you get here, you must let go of your mouse or your controller, whatever you're using first, and then you let go of Option. That is how you move that. If you let go of Option first, it's gonna look like this. Alright, so let's just make sure we remember that. That's just the key to remember. So now you got a good 8 bars here, and you play it through. Perfect. Sounds good. Alright, so now, typically we take that as a chorus. So now what you want to do is, since you got that going, now you kind of want to pick what you want to come first as an intro or start to organize your beat. Alright, so typically we want to start with a melody. So we'll have the melody go here. And let's just say you want to have something else come in like right with the melody. So I will click this here. So normally I would say, no, me personally, I like to go for basses. So we're going to go for software instrument here. And we're going to find a bass. So let's just go here. Let's see if we can find a good bass inside here. Let's see. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do then. So not every single Logic will have the synth bass that you may be looking for, and you might have to have a third-party plugin. Plugins are things that you can buy to add inside of Logic to give you better sounds. So you would click here, go to Instruments, and here I have this plugin. It's called Trillion. Gives you the different bass sounds that you need. So we're looking for a synth bass here. And you want to get it, you want the synth bass to be softer one. So that's pretty straight. So now once you find like the keys that you want to use, like I said, like I'm not a piano player, but I play enough to produce. So just to give you simple, you want to find the keys that you're looking for. So 3 keys, right? Simple stuff. So let's add this in here. So you want to hit record here. Hold it out. There you go. Simple right there. So now you got that. Just go ahead and hit play. So something like on bass sounds, if it feel good, I don't like to, you know, quantize it to keep it in that box. That's normally more so like for the drums, you know. So now here we go. So let's check this out. So we have intro, we have our part to where the bass could get started, and then we have the drums. So let's take a listen to what we have so far. So here, just change it up. We have the bass. And here comes the drums. Alright, so now we have good structure here, right? So now what can we do to make sure that it keeps the song interesting? So what I like to do is I like to put effects in there. Alright, so we go here to splice again. And we can click out of here, and we want to erase that, and we just want to hit FX. FX is just short for effects, and we want to find a nice little transition, something that's going to transition well. No, nothing like that. So let's try a riser. Let's look for that. Oh, that's perfect. All right, so we could take this, right, and we can add this here. Now, the tricky part is sometimes these come with the BPMs, as we talked about before. So this one, you see it says 130, right? So we want this to line up. So this is the same process of how we did our melody. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to change the tempo. We don't have to worry about MIDI. Anytime you change the tempo with MIDI, it's always going to follow what you do. Audio, because it's real time, is what changes, and that's the reason why we have to use Flex Audio. So what we're going to do is, because this says 130, we're going to go here to the tempo. We want to make sure it's lined up. Hit 130. All right. Then we want to Flex Audio this, okay, at 130, because that's its original filling, okay. Then, because it's Flex Audio, remember, because we did that, it'll go to where we needed to go. We want to go back down to the BPM of 90. See that? It stayed right there where it's supposed to be. And we want to put this in place to where we want it at. Okay, so sometimes with effects, you want to make sure that you zoom in here. And I like to kind of be precise with it, just a tad bit. And I will go here at the end to my length change, and I will just change that there. And let's bring this down. Alright, so now let's listen to it. Let's move it up a bit, just for time's sake. Alright. So we had that going, right? It's pretty cool, right? So now if you notice, it came up a little sooner. So what I like to just adjust it a little bit. Alright? And you could cut this off. In order to get that cursor right there, you would just have to hit Command, and your cursor will come up. So up here at the top, you have our arrow, which is our first. You see the arrow there. If on your keyboard you hit Command, it will go to your cursor, which is your secondary. Okay. They have many tools in here that you need to use. Pencil tool when you're writing in, erasing. If you want to label, the scissors to cut. Solo tool, mute, zoom, fade, and you see the rest as you go on. Okay, so what I like to do is, and this situation here where the effect is there, is I like to take something out just to give it a crazy effect so when it come back in. So what I want to do is I want to go here to this bass, and I want to do the command. Let's show that again. Hit Command, cursor there, double click it, and that's going to use as my cut tool. So it's going to cut there, and let's hear it, how it sounds from the bass here. Just to give it a little more excitement. Perfect. So here you have your intro, you got your pre-chorus here, you got your chorus. Now from there, it's up to you to decide how you want to do the verse, how you want to bring the chorus back in, how you want to change it up a bit if the artist tells you to take something in and out. But this is your basic way of how to make a beat. This is how I make a beat, and I hope you guys enjoyed that video. So once again, my name is David Deluxe Burgess. I'm a part of the Breed production team. We have a school here. It's called the Breed Academy. You guys can sign up at thebreedacademy.org if you would like. If you want to reach me for more info, you can reach me at deluxethebreed@gmail.com. DLUXTHEBREED @gmail.com, or Instagram or my social medias, which is the same thing, Deluxe the Breed, DLUXB the Breed. At Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever it is that you cool kids like to use nowadays, and just hit me up.